Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Engineering with Shamil, and this is episode number 14. And today we are going to discuss about the two types of fire alarm system, which is about conventional and addressable fire alarm system. Yes. So in the previous episodes, if you have gone through my channel, in that we have covered the conventional systems and addressable systems separately. We have discussed the concepts which are involved in the conventional system and in the addressable system again separately. So today what we are going to do is we are actually going to collect all those information and place it side by side so that as a viewer of this video, what you can do, what you will realize is that we'll be doing a side by side comparison. We'll be comparing the conventional system with the addressable system on certain aspects. Okay, so that you will get an idea on which system needs to be chosen for which particular building and what all factors needs to be considered while choosing a particular system. So without further ado, let's begin this session. So the first thing that you need to understand is you need to understand what is the core difference between the conventional system and the addressable system. So the core difference lies in the fact in how the systems identify an alarm. Okay, so in conventional system, when an alarm gets activated, okay, as I said in my previous videos, the conventional system does not give you the exact location, but rather it will inform you which particular zone is in fire condition. Whereas in addressable system, it will give you an exact location, it will give you the specific location, it will give you the specific device which got triggered, so that the responders can easily locate that particular device. They just need to go to that location directly instead of searching for that particular device. So this is the difference between the conventional and the addressable system. So to justify that statement, I will give you an example. Okay, so in conventional system, suppose that a facility is having a conventional system, and the conventional control panel says that there is a fire somewhere in zone 3. Okay, it will not say somewhere in zone 3, it will just say that in zone 3 there is a fire. Now the problem with zone 3 is that now the problem over here is that when you say zone 3 could be a group of rooms. Okay, it can have a group of 5 to 6 devices, okay, depending on the panel size, panel capacity. And when the fire gets activated in zone 3, the person might be knowing where zone 3 is. It might be in first floor, it might be in mezzanine floor, it might be in this particular building. That information he might be having. But the problem is that he needs to put some effort to find where that particular device got triggered. That is the problem with conventional device. That is a limitation with conventional device. Now, when it comes to addressable device, suppose there is a fire detector, as you see in the screen, there's a fire detector with the number 145. In case that detector gets triggered, okay, the fire alarm control panel will show that fire detector 145 is in alarm condition in room number 304, which is located in first floor. Okay, so when you get that information, the first responders, when they see this panel, they will be like, yes, we know the location of this thing, so we just need to go over there and then attend to that particular detector. So this is the difference between the conventional system and the addressable system. So the core difference lies in the fact that how do these systems identify an alarm? So that is the core difference. So to give you an analogy of conventional and addressable system, this for your further understanding, it's like suppose that you have a neighborhood. Okay, you have a neighborhood. A neighborhood is divided into several packages. So each package will be having a couple, maybe 5 to 6 villas. Okay, so in conventional system, what happens is it will tell you where the fire is. That is which package will be having fire. Okay, but it doesn't tell you which villa is having a fire. Okay, but when it comes to the addressable system, it tells you which villa or which house is exactly in fire. Okay, it will tell you the address of that house. So that is the difference between the conventional and the addressable system. So this analogy is just to help you understand is just to help you understand on how a conventional and addressable system works. So these are, so in the screen which you see, it's a comparison table between the conventional and the addressable system. So we are going to compare both the conventional and addressable system in some aspects. Okay. So the first aspect that we are going to discuss is the identification part. So we have already covered that in the first few slides. So in that we have mentioned that in conventional system, when the fire gets activated, when the alarm gets triggered, then it will say that in that particular zone only, that information only will be provided. But when it comes to the addressable system, the exact device info will be provided. Okay, that is the identification aspect. Second thing, when it comes to the wiring, in conventional system, suppose that a panel has 32 zones. Okay, that's normally the maximum capacity of zones in a panel. In case if there's 32 zones, okay, the cables need to be pulled separately for each zone. That is from the panel to zone 1, from panel to zone 2, from panel to zone 3. And then it goes until zone 32. So you need to have more number of cables. But when it comes to addressable system, you just need to put them in loop. That is, if it starts from the panel, it goes through all the devices, and then it returns back to the panel. So in this case, what happens is the amount of cable is less when compared to the conventional system where you need more number of cables. So that is the second difference. The third difference is cost. So the cost of a conventional system is cheap when compared to the addressable system. So the addressable system is more expensive when compared to the conventional system because, as you know, addressable system is advanced when compared to the conventional system. Okay, so because of that, there is a cost difference between the conventional and the addressable system. When it comes to installation part, installation for the conventional system is easy. It is simple. It doesn't require more complicated. It doesn't require it's not a complicated process when compared to addressable. In addressable, it's more complicated because you need to consider where the installation is. You need to determine installation is not that easy actually because in the addressable system you need to determine several factors. Like for example, you need to determine the address of the device. You need to know where exactly are you going to place the device. You have to understand. You have to actually prepare a list of devices and all. So all those things will come under the addressable part of installation. Okay. So this is another aspect which is having a difference. When it comes to the maintenance, that is maintenance will be involving troubleshooting and all. When it comes to maintenance, in conventional system, it is harder. It is harder. So in case if there's a trouble in the signal, then in any zone, then you will have to search for that zone. Then you need to actually search for that which device needs to be this thing. And it's not that easy. You have to start from number one. From one location you need to start. In case if that location doesn't have the fault, then you have to go to next location. Then later you have to keep on moving. So that is the problem with conventional system. But in addressable system, it's easier because a panel will give you where exactly the device is. Okay, where exactly the device is. So the troubleshooting will be easier. Okay. Now coming to the fault tolerance, the fault tolerance of conventional system is low. That is, suppose that there's an open circuit in the conventional system. So if there is an open circuit, what happens is then in one particular zone, then the entire zone loses its operational capability. Okay, but when it comes to the addressable system, if there is a fault in the in the loop circuit, that fault can be isolated and the remaining devices can be actually properly worked in the loop. Okay, so that is the advantage of having an addressable system and addressable system in case of fault. Now, another thing is that the last aspect that we are going to discuss is about the device information. So, in device information, in conventional system, it gives you the information. It gives you the condition of the alarm. It gives you the condition of the alarm for the zone only. Okay, it doesn't give you much details, but for the zone, it will give you the alarm condition. Whereas in addressable, it will tell you which device is having fault, which device is having alarm, which device is dirty, and etc. So if you see in whole, this is the difference between the addressable and conventional. Okay, and so we have discussed about the identification part. We have discussed about the wiring part. So wiring, addressable is more easy. Addressable will be using less cables when compared to the conventional. Cost wise, addressable is expensive when compared to the conventional system. Installation wise, addressable device is more complicated when compared to the conventional system. Maintenance wise, addressable system is easier over the conventional system. Fault tolerance, addressable system is having a higher fault tolerance when compared to the conventional system. Device info, addressable system will provide more information regarding the devices when it comes to alarm, fault, dirty device, etc. over the conventional system, which provides only the alarm info, and that too not for the device but for the zone. So these are the aspects where we have a difference between the conventional and the addressable system. Now, how do you choose your system? So in order to choose your system, we consider several factors. So the first factor where we consider is the building size. Suppose, if your building is small, so in that situation, what you can do is you can choose a conventional system. But in case if your building is medium to large, okay, so in those buildings, then it's better to choose addressable because the number of devices will be more, and the panel size, the panel capacity, the conventional panel might not be able to handle these many devices. Okay, so it's better to go for addressable system. Budget wise, if you have a low budget, then you can choose conventional. But in case if your budget is more, if it is available, then you can go for addressable system. Complexity. Conventional is suitable for simple layouts, but when it comes to addressable, it is advantageous for complex layouts. That is, in case if there are many buildings in a compound or if there are many rooms, many floors. So for those areas, complex layouts, for those areas, addressable system is better. And the last one is this response needed in case if the layout is simple, if the building layout is simple, then in that case one zone detection is enough. But in case if there are more rooms, more floors, more locations, then in that case addressable is better because it will pinpoint which device is having this particular issue. So that exact location is critical in case of the addressable systems. So when it comes to the conventional system, it's better to utilize in small shops, small offices, small apartments, etc. Villas and all. Standalone villas. But when it comes to the addressable system, it's better. It's better to install addressable system in malls, hotels, airports, hospitals, villa compounds, complexes, apartment complexes, and all, etc. So this is the difference. This is how you need to choose which system is suitable in this particular location, whether it is conventional or whether it is addressable. Okay. So a visual summary is shown over here for conventional system. So as you can see in the panel, in conventional system, there is a panel and that panel is divided into several zones. So normally in conventional system, as I said before, the maximum number of zones is 32. That is the one which is available in the market. So in each zone circuit is connected to the panel. Okay, and in case if there is an alarm in one particular zone, like you see over here, if there is an alarm in zone 2, it will show that there is an alarm in zone 2. Okay, that is conventional system. Addressable system is basically in the panel, you have a series of devices. It starts from one particular device and it goes through all other devices and then it returns back to the panel. Okay, so if there is an alarm in a particular device, like for example, if there is an alarm in device 102, then that particular device will be triggered and it will be shown in the panel along with the location of the device. It will say that device 102, room 215, that's for example, and it will say in case if there is an alarm, it will say smoke alarm. If there's a fault, it will say fault, or like it will also mention what type of fault it is, whether it is open circuit fault or whether it is short circuit fault, etc. So this is how the conventional system and the addressable system is displayed. Not displayed, this is how they provide the information in case of a particular situation. So the key takeaway is that conventional system is cheap and it's simple. In case if you want zone level awareness, in case if your building layout is simple, then in that case conventional system is suitable for you. When it comes to the addressable system, the cost of the panel is very high and the information which is provided by the addressable panel is precise. So you will get a device level awareness. So for such locations, addressable system is suitable. So just to summarize, if you're having a small building, but if you have a tight budget, it's better to go for conventional system. If you're having a large building where the safety is a critical factor, then it's better to go for addressable system. Not better, it's compulsory to go for addressable system based on the codes of the particular region. So with that, I conclude my today's session. So in case if you have any queries, comments, feedback on this video, kindly post them in the comment section and I will be highly obliged to answer to your queries. Thank you once again. And before I sign off, I would request humbly to all of you to kindly like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Engineering with Shamil. And your support is required in the future as well. Thank you once again, and I sign off. This is episode number 14. Good day to you.